Good evening. Thank you for being here. My name is Pete Lopez. I'm the chairman of the board. On behalf of the Greylock Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome you to our 90th annual meeting. So that, yes, it's 90 years. This year marks a special milestone for the credit union, which I'll get the chance to reflect on a little bit later. Because first, I want to acknowledge that this year's meeting is also significant for another reason. As you can see, we've got a room filled with energy. That's because we have an election for 4 director seats that's happening tonight as well, with 5 candidates to consider. This election, for which you, our members, are able to cast your vote for your candidates, speaks to our values and difference as a member-owned credit union. So thank you in advance for your enthusiastic engagement and attention. As we get started, please first join me in a round of thank yous. First, to the staff of the Berkshire Hills Country Club. Thank you. To our audiovisual expert, Ryan Cowdrey. To our American Sign Language interpreters, Lucy Krausnowski and Brianne Hersey. And to our talented and committed Greylock team. You all have done an amazing job organizing this event for us tonight. Now, I would like to call the 90th annual meeting of the Greylock Federal Credit Union to order. Please note that our clerk has advised me that a quorum is present. Also, please be advised that any member who wishes to address the assembly throughout the meeting must raise their hand and ask to be recognized. And remember that only members may address this meeting and vote during the annual meeting. To begin, may I have a motion to waive the order of the meeting as required by the Greylock bylaws? Thank you. Second. So I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. Next, may I have a motion to waive the reading of last year's annual meeting minutes and to accept them? Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you again. I'd now like to take a moment to introduce and recognize your board of directors, along with your supervisory committee and a director of emeritus we have with us tonight. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Krystle Blake. Krystle is a technical engineering technical manager at General Dynamics Mission Systems. This is Krystle's 7th year as a director. Jerry Burke. Jerry is the former president and CEO of Hillcrest Education Centers. This is Jerry's 26th year as a director. Ty Jackson. Ty founded the Ty Allen Jackson LLC, authored 6 children's books on financial literacy and empowerment, and co-founded the Read or Else movement. This is Ty's 10th year as a director. Kelly Kroc. Kelly is a senior advanced human resource business partner for General Dynamics. This is Kelly's 12th year as a director. Sheila LaBarbera. Sheila is the Executive Director of Berkshire County Retirement System. This is Sheila's 26th year as a director. John Law. Where are you, John? John is was formerly Vice President of Administration and Finance and Chief Financial Officer at Berkshire Community College. This is John's 10th year as a director. Thanks also to Sheila and John, who are leading our ballot committee, which you'll hear more about, and you'll see them in action tonight. Brett Random. Brett is Executive Director of Berkshire County's Head Start program. This is Brett's second year as a director. Thank you. And Stan Walczyk. Unfortunately, Stan's not able to be with us this evening. He is former president of O'Loughlin's Home Care Pharmacy, which you would know today as Market 32 Price Chopper Pharmacy. This is Stan's 14th year as a director. And myself, Pete Lopez. I previously served as Chief Information Officer at GE Plastics and Sabic. I founded the Field House in Canaan, New York. I've had the privilege of this year serving on both the board and supervisory committee, and this is my 9th year as a director. Now that I have all you standing directors, a heartfelt thank you. When I think about the volunteerism, the expertise, the different backgrounds, the dedication and engagement, I'm honestly humbled and feel pretty small around you guys. Personally, I've learned so much from each of you, and I appreciate the time you've given me and the time you give this credit union. So thank you. Please, you now may be seated. Next, I would like to introduce and recognize your supervisory committee. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Joe Baker. Joe is Vice President, Finance and Administration for Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation. This is Joe's second year on the committee. Lori Broderick Bean. Lori is Director of Accounting at Berkshire Community College. This is Lori's 12th year on the committee. Catherine Chacon Ortega. There she is. Catherine is a tax accountant for Smith, Watson and Company. This is Catherine's 4th year on the committee. And our supervisory committee chair, Brian House. Brian, do I see you? Okay. Brian is Vice President of Youth Development at 18 Degrees, and it's Brian's 4th year on the committee. Thank you to our supervisory committee. In the past year, I'm really privileged to have worked with each of you and to learn from you. So thank you so much. You please now be seated. And now, Director of Emeritus. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Ann Deely. Ann founded the law firm Deely & Deely in Lee, Massachusetts, and has been actively involved in the community for many years. Ann served as a director and the chair during her 8 years with Greylock. She received this honorary title in recognition of her volunteer service to our credit union. Thank you so much, Ann, for being here and for being a vibrant role model for all of us, for community leadership, and for resilience. So thank you. So before we move forward, I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the individuals seated here at the head table, who you will hear more from tonight. Starting to my immediate right, John Bissell. John is Greylock's president and CEO. He joined Greylock in 2003 and took his current role in 2015. Jamie Ellen Monchecki. Jamie Ellen is senior vice president and our chief administrative officer. Jamie Ellen started in Greylock in 1994 and took her current role in 2020. And Dennis Egan. Dennis is our legal counsel from Cohen, Kinney, Valesenti, and Cook. I practiced that. And to my left, Michael King. Michael King is a senior vice president and is our chief financial officer. He joined Greylock last year. And Jim McGough. Jim is our independent auditor from Wolf & Company. Jim will be speaking on behalf of the supervisory committee tonight. So, thanks to the head table for your important roles in leading and operating our credit union and for the reports that you'll give later tonight, this evening. Now, on to our election. Before we begin the process, it's my privilege to introduce the slate of 5 candidates running for your board of directors. This year we have 4 open seats, and we genuinely appreciate all of the candidates who have stepped forward to serve. Our nomination committee has reviewed and approved 4 incumbent directors for re-election. In addition, 1 candidate has been nominated by petition. At this time, I'd like to ask, as I call your name, to please come to the front so our members can recognize you. The following individuals are the incumbent directors approved by the nominating committee. Krystle Blake, Tyrone Jackson, Brett Random, Stan Walczyk. As I mentioned earlier, Stan is unable to attend this evening. However, he's very much in our thoughts, as he and his wife needed to suddenly care for family abroad. And our final candidate, Shelby Williamson. Shelby is a former primary captain for Berkshire County's Sheriff Department, and he currently works with the Sheriff's Office in a number of community roles. Thank you, Shelby. On behalf of everybody here, and for the members who express voted outside earlier, I extend a sincere gratitude to all 5 of our candidates for their willingness to serve and contribute to the ongoing success of Greylock Federal Credit Union. Thank you, Krystle, Ty, Brett, Stan, and Shelby. Please, you may take your seats. At this time, I'd like to introduce our ballot committee chair, John Law, who will introduce the ballot committee and explain the voting process. John?
Thank you, Pete. Good evening. As you know, we are about to begin the election process for the Board of Directors. To ensure that the election is conducted in a fair and transparent manner, we have a dedicated ballot committee overseeing the process. Before introducing the ballot committee, I want to take a moment to extend my sincere gratitude to Director Sheila LaBarbera, who serves as vice chair of the committee. I will now introduce the members of the ballot committee, and there are a lot of them, who will be assisting with the election this evening. Please come to the front when your name is called. Please note that some committee members are assisting now in other areas of the ballot process and will not be coming forward, but we appreciate their important contributions as well. Chris Berry, Sherry Boscheman, Jake Brooks, Tom Buckley, Kelly Canino, Ashley Clark, Heidi Daly, Nina De Los Santos, Marissa Kirschner, Rachel Mabey, Christy Martino, John Maston, Chris May, Roberta McCulloch-Dews, Marie Mele, Chris Moon, Amy Orpin, Shannon Park, Amy Porio, Amy Reese, Jordan Skase, Cindy Shogri Raymer, Taylor Smoke, Jennifer Sopranowitz, Matt Teakin, and finally, Christina Walker. Thank you for your contributions to this evening. Please join me in thanking them as well with a round of applause. Thanks, everybody. You may take your seats. Thank you very much. Now I will explain how the voting process works tonight. Each eligible voting member received a green verified voter ticket upon check-in. To receive a ballot, please present your green verified voter ticket to a member of the ballot committee, those folks who were just up here. Once you receive your ballot, please take a moment to review the instructions carefully and refer to the bio sheet on the table. Mark your selection clearly with an X and avoid any extra markings or alterations that could invalidate your vote. You can vote for up to 4 candidates. If you have any questions about how to properly complete your ballot, please raise your hand and a ballot committee member will assist you. We ask that you do not share your ballot with others at your table to maintain the integrity of the voting process. Once you have completed your ballot, please keep it secure until collection begins. When voting is concluded, ballot committee members will walk around to collect the ballots. Please remain seated until your ballot has been collected. Once all ballots have been gathered, the ballot committee will proceed with the counting process, and we will announce the results later in the meeting. In the event that a tie-breaking vote is required, the blue, not the green, the blue verified voter ticket will be exchanged for a new ballot. Only members who received a blue verified voter ticket at check-in may participate in the tiebreaker vote. If there are any questions during the voting process, please do not hesitate to ask a member of the ballot committee. Thank you again for your participation in the election process. Now back to Pete.
Thank you, Ballot Committee Chair John Law. And thank you to the Ballot Committee in advance for your important work tonight. So we will now begin distributing the ballots. Please have your green verified voter ticket ready to exchange for your ballot. Thank you for your cooperation. Please raise your hand if your green verified voter ticket has not yet been exchanged for a ballot. Okay, all green verified voter tickets have been exchanged for ballots. The voting process is now open. Each eligible voter should have their official ballot in hand. If you need assistance or require a replacement ballot due to an error, please raise your hand and a ballot committee member will assist you. As John mentioned, to maintain integrity of the process, please do not discuss or share your ballot with others at your table. Your vote is confidential. So voting will remain open for the next 5 minutes and close promptly. Hello again. The voting period has now concluded. Thank you to all who participated. Ballot committee members will now begin collecting your ballots. Please remain seated and hold your completed ballot until a committee member approaches you. Once all ballots have been collected, the committee will proceed with the counting process. During this time, we ask for your patience and understanding. Once the results are finalized, they will be announced toward the end of the meeting. Please raise your hand if your ballot has not yet been collected. Okay, all ballots have now been collected. The ballot committee will now begin the counting process. As they begin this process, I would invite everyone to please remain seated. Our servers will now begin bringing dinner to your tables. Please enjoy your meal. After about a 15-minute pause for dinner, we'll continue the meeting with additional formal business and with reports from our head table. One important last note before dinner. Please remember to keep this blue verified voter ticket secure, ideally no food on it, as it may be required for a tiebreaker vote if necessary. Should a tie occur, the blue ticket will be used to determine eligibility in the tiebreaker vote. Thanks all for your attention. Bon appetit. I hope everyone is enjoying dinner or has enjoyed dinner. Thank you again to the wonderful, hardworking team of Berkshire Hills Country Club. I know you guys are behind the door now, but thank you so much. I'd like to continue our meeting now. I'll ask for a motion to recess the annual meeting and convene a special meeting regarding the expulsion of members who have caused the credit union a loss. May I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried, and I now call this special meeting to order. May I please have a motion to approve expelling members for any of the following reasons. Any member who, since our last annual meeting in 2024, has abused services through fraudulent activity, caused a loss to the credit union, used threatening, abusive, or inappropriate language or behavior, or violated the credit union's federal bylaws. May I have a motion? Thank you. Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. And now, may I have a motion to adjourn that special meeting and reconvene the annual meeting? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you all for participating in the formal business of your credit union. So, before hearing tonight's 2020 financial reports and the election results, I wanted to step back and reflect a bit on where we are. Starting with the why behind our credit union. So, to do so, I thought we might take a quick trip back in time to 1935. Franklin D. Roosevelt has just signed into law the Social Security Act, becoming a safety net for millions of Americans. Amelia Earhart took to the skies in Hawaii, flying solo to California, 2,400 miles in 18 hours, becoming the first person to do so. And the Associated Press sent its first photo on what would be a 10,000-mile journey via its new wire photo service. It was an aerial picture of a small plane crash in a wooded area in upstate New York. The photo was transmitted to 47 newspapers in 25 states, and the delivery of news was forever changed. Meanwhile, only about 100 miles away from that plane in the woods, here in the city of Pittsfield, an intrepid group of General Electric Company employees organized and created the Pittsfield GE Employees Credit Union, resulting in the credit union receiving its charter on January 4th, 1935. And this project, this 90-year project, had begun. The idea for a credit union first came to Charles G. Erickson. Charles was a foreman in the carpenter shop. During a visit to Europe a year before, he toured Germany and observed the operations of credit unions in Germany. You might ask, why Germany? I did. The idea of a credit union was born there some 90 years before, in the mid-1800s, to help the working class that, at that moment, was mostly excluded from banking. After witnessing the impact of credit unions had on its working class members, Charles was inspired to create a similar model among his fellow employees at GE. The credit union would have a twofold purpose. One was to assist fellow employees in their quest to save their hard-earned dollars, and also to provide access to low-cost loans. So, Charles met with 16 other employees from various departments, and they all agreed that the credit union difference was a step forward. With banks largely excluding them and now failing in the depression, they wanted to build something they could trust. The rest, as they say, is history. When I think of those 17 employees who laid the foundation for what is now a 100,000 plus member-owned financial institution that we are today, I'm filled with admiration for their courage and their boldness. With the Great Depression still all around them, it would have been easy to let the bleak economic landscape deter them. But they believed in the transformative power of credit unions, and with an unshakable conviction, they forged ahead. 90 years later, while much has changed, a lot has changed, one thing remains constant: our belief in the power of the credit union difference, and we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, honoring their vision and dedication. Today, as your volunteer board of directors, we carry forward this legacy, governing with care, navigating challenges, and forging ahead with confidence towards the future. As stewards of this long-serving, local financial institution, we work diligently to ensure the credit union remains strong and effective in your lives, the lives of our members. As you listen to the upcoming reports from our Chief Financial Officer, our Supervisory Committee, and our President about the state of our financial cooperative, I hope you will get a good sense for the balance, integrity, and reliability of your credit union's financial services. And beyond those core financial services, I'm proud to share that in 2024, Greylock was able to extend financial support of just under $730,000 to nonprofit organizations in the communities where we serve and where we live. From health and human services to education, literacy, arts, culture, and economic development, our support touches every stage of life, from newborns to seniors, right here where we live. I hope you can also see how this all starts and ends with you, the member, and how tonight is a living example of you shaping the credit union with your voice and your vote. That's the credit union difference. That's the Greylock difference. For me, the common thread of these 90 years is simple. Everyday people from all walks of life stepping forward, selflessly giving their time and energy to make a lasting difference where we live. It was Charles and the intrepid 17 in 1935. In 2025, it's our volunteer board of directors, our supervisory committee, backed by an amazing team of employees. And tonight, It's Krystle, Ty, Brett, Stan, and Shelby stepping forward. Maybe next year it'll be one of you. So, before the reports, a big thank you again to tonight's intrepid five. With that, I'm pleased to introduce Michael King, our Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Michael?
All right, good evening, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here. So, balance sheet growth last year was driven by our ability to continue meeting member lending needs as loans increased by $16 million or 1.3%. As you can see in the blue bars in the chart to my right and left. Meanwhile, deposit balances decreased slightly by $1.8 million or less than 1%, which is visible on the chart's green bars. Declining deposit balances was an industry trend as consumers utilized more of their funds to meet higher living costs and sought alternative investment options that became attractive as a result of the Federal Reserve Bank's interest rate policy. At the end of 2024, Greylock's deposit balances were approximately $1.4 billion. With the decline of deposits during 2024, cash flows from investment securities and portfolio and borrowings were utilized to fund net loan growth. On the next slide, turning to asset quality, the credit of our loan portfolio remained strong in 2024, despite an increase in delinquencies. At December 31st, delinquent loans of 60 days or more increased to 1.15% of total loans as the financial effects of high inflation and lower economic growth impacted our members. This increase in delinquencies follows a multi-year period of really near pristine credit quality following the COVID-19 pandemic. Net loan charge-offs as a percentage of average loans were in line with historical averages at 20 basis points. And on the next slide, moving to capital, our regulatory capital ratio increased from 12.14% to 12.21% at December 31st. We were able to grow this ratio in 2024 despite higher total assets, really from net income, right, as that continues to be our primary source of capital generation and really positions us well for future growth. And we view capital preservation as a top priority due to our role as a financial institution focused on supporting our communities for the long term. And finally, turning to the income statement, net income for 2024 equaled $4.7 million, which decreased slightly from $4.9 million in 2023. The primary reason for lower earnings was a $2.1 million increase in provision for credit losses, reflecting the normalizing credit position of our loan portfolio as we discussed on a previous slide. These charges were partially offset by higher net interest income, which was common in the industry, primarily due to the repricing of our loan and securities portfolios during 2024. Expenses decreased modestly compared to the prior year as our efforts to streamline operations offset contractual and inflation-driven increases in data processing, occupancy, and compensation costs. And as we look ahead into 2025, we feel our balance sheet is really well positioned to manage continued volatility in uncertain market conditions. And we're excited for the opportunity to continue providing excellent member services throughout our community in 2025 and beyond. That concludes my prepared remarks, and enjoy the rest of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. May I have a motion to accept the Chief Financial Officer's report? Thank you. Second. So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you, and thank you again, Michael. At this time, we will hear the annual report from our Supervisory Committee. This year, the report will be delivered on behalf of the Supervisory Committee by Jim McGough, a partner with our independent audit firm, Wolf & Company. Jim?
Good evening. I'm happy to be here to present the Supervisory Committee report. I work with Wolf & Company. It's a CPA firm in Boston, and we audit and do business with over 300 financial institutions. We performed the 2024 audit, and we also did the 2023 audit. Our firm is independent of the credit union. We report directly to the Supervisory Committee. We audited the financial statements and issued an unmodified opinion. This means the financial statements prepared by management are accurate and that no audit adjustments were necessary. We follow generally accepted auditing standards. There are rules we must follow in order to issue an opinion. We obtained an understanding of how management processes financial information, including the systems they use to prepare the financial statements. We verified the accounting principles. There are multiple estimates in the financial statements, and we have tested all of those. We obtained evidence through confirmation with third parties, other financial institutions, and we confirmed a sample of loans and deposits with you all, the members, to validate this. I'll tell you, the annual audit is a very rigorous thing. It's a very time consumer for management. They have other things to do. They have their day jobs, but we come in and we ask them for so much information. And management was great about it. They were candid and cooperative with us throughout this process. They want to get us through it. We received everything we requested timely and in good order, and the audit went as planned, and we issued an unmodified opinion.
Thank you, Jim. May I have a motion to accept the Supervisory Committee's report? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thanks again, Jim. Last but not least, I'm pleased to introduce our President and CEO, John Bissell. John?
All right, how's everyone doing tonight? Happy birthday, Greylock. You all look beautiful at 90 years old. What a beautiful, beautiful group this is. I want to thank the team that makes this possible. There's a group of event producers and geniuses that put this on every year. Jennifer Connor-Shumsky, Amy Reese, Darrell Dickerson, who's really been moving it tonight, Jamie Ellen Monchecki, Bob Maxwell, who's retiring. I don't know who let that happen, but thank you, Bob. And Roberta McCulloch-Dews and the whole marketing team. Big round of applause for all of them. Thank you. I also want to thank the ballot committee. They're back there tirelessly working through all those ballots. We really appreciate all of their service as well. So I just want to say that, all across the country, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of people at each other. But here in this room together tonight, we have so much to celebrate. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm deeply grateful for the way in which our employees, our board, and our membership are unified around a shared sense of purpose of strengthening our community. Your board works extremely hard to provide outstanding governance, and they give us all the confidence to keep forging ahead no matter what. And I love tonight our chairman, Pete Lopez, focusing on the origin story, the why, that really sets this place apart. It's a not-for-profit financial cooperative that you own. I want to really thank Chair Pete Lopez and all of our directors. You are simply the best. Big round of applause for our board and our supervisory committee. As you can see from the annual reports and the impact reports that are on your table tonight, the theme of the year is balance. Really timely theme, right? And I'm grateful for the hard work of Greylock's 300 financial professionals for achieving balance and forward momentum throughout 2024. As you heard our CFO Michael King report, through all the craziness that's going on, we are steady as she goes and still producing great results. We welcomed nearly 3,000 new members last year. 2024, 3,000 net new membership. Yes, yes! Big round of applause for those new members. And we kept ourselves balanced by welcoming that local membership, but also investing in a national partnership to share back office functions with other credit unions. And as that partnership begins to bear fruit next year, The dollars that we save on operations and technology can be poured right back into stronger member relationships with all of you and keeping Greylock financially resilient, keeping the credit union in balance. Also last year, our branch teams, they're the best in the business, aren't they? Member service reps and our tellers, yes? They completed 1.5 million transactions with warmth and heart last year, 1.5 million in-person transactions in our branches. And our members completed 105 million digital transactions, which is pretty remarkable. So keep that balance between personal service and great technology. Greylock will soon roll out a new digital banking platform that'll make it easier to log in, easier to link your accounts, easier to take care of your budgeting, spending, making payments, all of those great things. And speaking of balance, how many QTC members do we have here tonight? Raise your hands. There you go. Okay. Oh, wow. Come on. Most of you are in the... Yes. Joanne Billow. All right. She's the godmother of the QTC. In 2024, the QTC partnered with the Elder Services of Berkshire County on some educational opportunities around Medicare, how to prevent frauds and scams, and keeping things in balance. This year, Greylock will be conducting youth-focused groups to hear what's on the minds of Gen Alpha and Gen Z as we welcome that next generation of Greylock members. I also want to just give an opportunity right now. I'm going to quiet down and let our members tell the story. We've got some great videos with member voices to share. So, Bob, Ryan, you want to hit that for us? Thank you. Appreciate it.
My name is Kelly Newby. I bought a house in North Adams a year ago. Greylock was there answering all of my questions that I had. And then I got a call that I qualified for a grant. And the grant was going to help me with my down payment. It was going to help me with my closing costs and to do some house repairs that I would have had to put off. And I thought, this is exactly why I went to Greylock, is they made the process very easy. They found the grant for me, and I've just been very grateful. Thank you, Greylock, for going the extra mile and helping me get this wonderful, quirky little house of my dreams.
My name is Charleston, and I own CNA Cleaning in the Berkshires. I immigrated here from Brazil. I get in this country 25 years ago without nothing. I came from really poor family. We had a time my father couldn't buy, he had to choose what to give us to eat, with 13 of us. I know where I came from. My lifestyle changed when I walked into Greylock. I was in this bank, and they was not treating me right. I walk in for many times, ask for a credit card, for a line of credit. Just denied. I can't do it. The minute I walk in Greylock, and I sit down with the branch manager, right away give me like $5,000 credit card. It's give me the chance, to go a little further, on my business. I can start by equipment. I didn't have it before. I say, you know what? They're really willing to trust me, to give me this opportunity. I want to make this succeed. And I did. I'm really proud of myself because I made it. I really did made it. And just like me, it's so many people there can do the same exact thing. I'm not special in any kind of way. My business is growing from 2 employees up to 22 employees. I'm reaching like a phase in my life right now I could never think I could have done. If I had the help from Greylock to open the doors for me, I couldn't do it. I'm so thankful to be a Greylock member. Without their help, I couldn't be the position I am today.
At BAB, we believe in the importance of food justice and addressing the systemic inequalities that impact our food system, our farmers, our producers, and our community. One important area of focus is our Market Match program. We fundraise for farmers markets to be able to double the SNAP dollars available to low-income shoppers, and we are so grateful to Greylock for being the first sponsor of this program.
We just wanted to thank Greylock for doubling our SNAP EBT program so that everyone in the community can get double the amount of produce from our local vendors.
We could not do what we do without having strong local partners like you.
Hi, my name is Isabella. I'm 12, I'm a student, but I'm also an actor here at Berkshire Theater Group. And today we're here at the beautiful Colonial Theater. A while ago, my mom thought I was just spending money, And I wanted to prove to her that I was saving money too and I was responsible with it. And so we went down to Greylock and we opened our first checking account. Opening my first checking account at Greylock was a very exciting day for me. Everybody there was so wonderful and they made it very easy for me. My mother agreed for me to have a debit card. So now when I'm out with my friends, I can use it responsibly, of course, and make sure that I know how much I'm spending. I love using the Greylock app because it helps me keep track of my money, and I also use it to deposit my checks. The biggest lesson I've learned while having my checking account was that I could keep track of my saving and spendings. If one of my friends were struggling with their money, I would definitely tell them to go to Greylock because they treat everyone so nicely. Thank you, Greylock, for helping me learn to manage my money.
My name is Sebastian. I'm from Colombia. I came here 1.5 years ago. My only English was like, hi and goodbye, no more. I was completely lost about banking, basically about everything. Checking account, saving account, and I thought, what is that? I have no idea. And then they told me, hey, you need an IT number because you need to do your taxes. And I thought, but how? I don't know, how can I do that? In my country, I'm a lawyer, but here, I'm an immigrant. A friend sent me to Greylock. He told me, hey, you need a bank account, you need your IT number, you need any help, go to the Greylock Federal Credit Union. They can help you. And yes, it's true. We don't have family here and we don't have any support. So Greylock is the most wonderful support here for us. And now, man, I'm in peace. I'm completely calm. Because before that, my cash flow was a disaster. Now I can feel free to enjoy my life here in the United States, and I have money in my pocket. Actually, no in my pocket, in my savings account. Greylock basically saved my life. That's my story.
Hi there. My name's Charlie Bowl, and we're at my house here in Drury, Massachusetts, in the beautiful Berkshires. I just recently retired, 65 years old. It's been a blessing with our 3 children, getting through college, all graduated, and they're in their own professional careers now. But throughout all of this, Greylock's been with us. Now that I'm in my retirement years, and we've been fortunate enough to have this beautiful property and house passed down to us. It's been in the family since like the 1800s. It's needed quite a bit of work, and I've been doing renovations. Greylock's been helping me with that, new septic system, all new roofs. We put in all new hardwood floors. We use Greylock for everything. You got the best rates. You're not gonna find a better interest rate, or at least I haven't. They always have a competitive rate in which, if you're talking a mortgage, is gonna save you thousands of dollars. It's nice when all the kids come home. This is home base for everybody in the family. I love the family feel that I get with Greylock. It's incredible. You won't find it anywhere else. You get to know these people. You become friends. What do friends do? They stick by you. They're with you, and were with me and my wife through every year after year after year. Hard times, good times, always listen. Always listen. How can we help, Charlie? And you know what? They always did. Greylock's been one of the biggest part of my family's success. It's just a beautiful life that I've had. I couldn't ask for more, and I want to thank Greylock Federal for being part of it.
Bravo. All right. Big round of applause for all those members. And if you check out our Greylock YouTube channel, which you definitely should, you'll see more videos. One of them features Mary McGinnis, who might be in the house tonight. All right, so I'm going to close my remarks by assuring you that no matter what happens at the federal level, I am confident that Greylock's going to continue to forge ahead, just as we have for the past 9 decades. A few things you may hear in the news over the next weeks or months. With new tax legislation looming, you may hear that the credit union tax exemption is under threat. Greylock, like all credit unions, we pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in property and payroll taxes, but because we're a not-for-profit, we do not pay profit tax, since all of Greylock's net income is poured right back into the community, right back into your credit union. It's not distributed to Wall Street shareholders as profit. A robust educational, lobbying campaign is underway to protect the status of credit unions as not-for-profits. Greylock is participating in that at the national level. We're reminding elected officials that credit unions provide $36 billion annually in net economic benefits for taxpayers, which is far more than the $2 or $3 billion that Congress could generate by taxing credit unions. You may also hear that the U.S. Treasury's CDFI fund is under threat. Greylock is a CDFI, a Community Development Financial Institution. We're very proud of earning that designation. It was a lot of hard work. But rest assured that we are not dependent on that program for our success. Losing the fund would be an unfortunate outcome for taxpayers because every dollar that goes into that fund and is invested in CDFIs like Greylock, every dollar yields about $8 in economic benefit for the U.S. So we're fighting hard to keep the CDFI fund in place. But if that goes away, we are not at all dependent on the CDFI for our survival or effectiveness. So, in conclusion, no matter what Congress decides on all of those things, we will do what we have done for the past 90 years. We will figure it out together. We will stay true to our values, just like we did through the pandemic and through wars and through recessions. We'll stick together, we'll find the best solutions, and we'll put them to work. Your loyalty to this credit union makes all the difference in the world. Please let your friends and family members know that just like you heard tonight, Greylock is the safe, local place to put your money, a place with steady financial performance, a rock-solid balance sheet, and most importantly, kind, caring people delivering great service. Thank you all for being part of this celebration tonight. I'm going to turn it over to our chair, Pete Lopez.
Thank you, John. Thanks for your leadership. And for building an amazing team. From the board perspective, we really appreciate the engagement we have with you and your senior leadership team on a regular basis. So with that, we anticipate the election results will be ready, we think, in about 5 minutes. And I think the sign will be when John Law and Sheila maybe emerge from the doors back there. So if you can please be patient. And I keep this blue card handy because as I told the team, if there could be a tiebreaker, it'll happen when I'm up here. All right, but we're ready for it. All right, so you can enjoy dessert and coffees as well. All right, thank you. Okay, if I could have your attention. The election results are in. And I would now like to invite Ballot Committee Chair John Law to come forward and announce the results. John?
Thank you, Pete, and thanks again to the wonderful committee who helped to tally these votes. Fellow members, the ballots have been counted, and I am pleased to announce the results of our election for the 4 open seats on the board. First, the general numbers. Total verified membership check-ins, 277. Total ballots cast, 277. Total voided ballots, 0. Now for the vote count. Krystle Blake received 212 votes. Shelby Williamson received 186 votes. Brett Random received 168 votes. Ty Jackson received 146 votes, and Stan Walczyk received 144 votes. So based upon these results, the following candidates have been elected as board of directors for the following terms. Krystle Blake for a 3-year term, Shelby Williamson for a 3-year term, Brett Random for a 3-year term. Please hold your applause. Brett Random for a 3-year term, and Ty Jackson for a 1-year term. Now you can applaud. So thank you for joining me in congratulating the newly elected board members. Before we continue with the meeting, I would just like to extend a few words of appreciation to Stan Walczyk. On behalf of the entire board, thank you for your many years of service to the board. And Stan was also a past chair for the board. You generously shared your talents and time over the years, and thank you for all you've done. With that, back to Pete. Thank you, everybody, for your patience.
Thank you, John. Thank you to the ballot committee. Thank you to the candidates. Thank you, members. And congratulations, newly elected directors. I can't overstate my appreciation and the importance of each candidate stepping forward to give their time selflessly to our credit union. So, at this time, I would like to ask the candidates if anyone wishes to request a recount of the results. Hearing no request for a recount, may I have a motion to accept the election results as presented by our ballot committee chair? Thank you. Can I have a second? The motion has been moved and seconded to accept the election results. Any discussion? If no further discussion, I will now proceed to a vote. All those in favor of accepting the election results, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say no. The motion carries. The election results are hereby accepted. Please note, ballots will be destroyed after a period of 30 days. Before we adjourn, I would ask if there's any other business to come before the membership. There being none, may I have a motion to adjourn? May I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you again. So much for being here, for your engagement, your commitment to our credit union, and for your patience. Finally, please remember as you exit to collect your gift as you go. Thank you very much. Good night and safe travels home.